Alright, let me paint you a picture. The year is 2007. You're in computer lab, grinding away Type to Learn 3. You make enough progress for the day that you can move on and you get free time on the computer, and you Google Super Mario Online. And just like that, a whole world of subpar Nintendo games opens up to you. I'm not even sure if computer lab is still technically a class anymore, because it feels like nowadays kids just kind of spawn in and they can use an iPad. But back in my day, God, I feel old saying that. We had a class that would teach us how to use the computer and things like Word, Microsoft, and we would learn how to type and just use basic functions. And sometimes if you were really, really lucky and you were doing really good that day, you get about 10 to 15 minutes to just cut free time on the computer. And if you know me in real life, you already know I was trying to game with my 10 to 15 minutes, and you had a couple options. I don't know how long they've been around, but website emulators have been pretty popular lately. If you Google like Pokemon Yellow Online, A Link to the Past Online, you can find a website that you can just play it on your web browser and you can actually save your data. It's really cool. But that is not what I'm referring to when I say Nintendo browser games. In my day, we didn't have that. We had this. When I was growing up, there was one site that ruled them all. A website where you could video share, upload and play games, art, anything you can think of, way before YouTube. Newgrounds.com. Now, if you're younger than me, you probably don't know what Newgrounds is. If you're around my age, it probably feels like a fever dream, and if you're a little bit older than me, something just resonated with you. I consumed a lot of Newgrounds media, but it was never on Newgrounds.com. It was really popular for something to blow up on Newgrounds or another site, and then it would be copy and pasted everywhere. Like, I could find pretty much every Newgrounds game I could think of on like cool math games, addicting games, just random sites trying to make a quick buck. But no matter what site I was playing it on, it all leads back to Newgrounds, and toddler me owes that site a ton. Growing up, I was a PlayStation family, so my first introduction to Mario was right here. I could add a worse first start. For pretty much every browser game I'm about to talk about, none of them are super long, especially Mario Combat. But that's one of the best parts about it. It is short, but it's very, very sweet. I'm pretty sure every asset they have here is flipped. The combat's nothing special, but man, did I play this over and over and over again as a child. This is, honest to God, one of the coolest games you could have pulled out in the 5th grade computer lab. It was just the right amount of edgy, and people were like, oh, yo, what is that game? And I'd be like, yep. It's Mario Combat, baby. Everybody loves Mario Combat. Mario easily got the most love out of browser games. People made so many fan games of him, and it's not hard to tell why. Platformers are just intuitively way easier to make than like a Legend of Zelda game or a Pokemon game. Although they were rare, the one that sticks out to me the most is The Legend of Zelda and the Lampshade of No Real Significance. This game, unlike most other Flash games, actually used its own assets, and it has a really distinct look. It's definitely aged. It looks hand-drawn, but it's really nice to see some like more effort other than just asset flipping. And it is oozing of early 2000s humor. Playing through this today, I laughed, and I hate that I laughed, but it was just so many deep cuts, and I was like, oh, wow, man. This is what it was like in the 2000s. It's like a time machine of a game. This is also, somewhat embarrassingly, the first Zelda game I ever beat. I had Phantom Hourglass and I was too dumb to beat that, but this one was right up my alley. So I have a lot of fond memories of it. Super Smash Bros. 2 is a beautifully made game. You can really feel every single ounce of passion that they put into this, and the fact that it's all on a web browser, or at least used to be, is genuinely mind-boggling and insane. Smash Bros. 2 has pretty much everything you'd expect out of a normal Smash game, like classic mode, adventure mode, all things like that. It has online multiplayer, and a pretty good one at that. These connections are really solid for a web browser game. The roster size is way bigger than I would have ever expected from a game like this. They have the guy from Fortnite. Real talk though, this roster is so much fun. Goku, Naruto, Sora, my personal favorite. This game did it way better than Ultimate did. But before you can have a Super Smash Bros. 2, you have to have a Super Smash Flash. And oh my god, I've put so much time into this game. For a game that came out in 2006, that was created in 4 months by a 16-year-old, I am beyond impressed, to be honest. The roster looks like it's going to be bigger, but I don't think there's any unlockables if I'm mistaken. But they do have Mega Man, Sonic, Tails, this guy. It's actually shocking, the roster that they have, especially compared to, this came out way before Brawl, so Sonic is like not in Smash yet. Mega Man didn't even join until Smash 4, which was like, what, 2014? I have no idea who this is, but he was my main. I love this guy. He was edgy. I thought he was so cool. I thought he was badass. I love this guy. The absolute best memories I have with this game are playing on one keyboard with 2 people. During school, nothing beat it. It was so much fun. I had so many people playing it in computer lab. It blew up like wildfire. Playing it now, something's wrong with the percents and the knockback, which, you know what, I'm okay with. It's a web browser game he made really quickly. But Zelda's so broken. Look at this. This is insane. When I was just a dumb, stupid little boy, I was genuinely convinced Super Mario 63 was a real Nintendo game that was just put on a website. Which might say something about my intelligence, but I think it says a lot about the quality of this game. Obviously now I realize these are all assets that were taken from other games, but this to me looked like a real deal like Mario game that just came out before I was born that I had never heard of. I was never able to get far in this game ever. I don't think I ever made it past the castle, but I played it a lot over and over again. Playing around with FLUDD, just playing around with the momentum. It was a lot of fun, especially for someone who didn't have easy access to Mario. I thought this was the coolest thing of all time. Unfortunately, though, a ton of these games have been lost to time. When Flash shut down in 2021, a lot of these games were just gone for good, never to return. Things like Ruffle have made a really great effort at preserving these games and media, but for some of them, it's just you can't access anymore. It's truly gone forever. Flash games aren't usually remembered as anything special, but they are to me. These silly, passionate little fan projects left the biggest imprint on me, and they made this little guy absolutely fall in love with video games, and I truly would not have it any other way.